Well, hey guys, welcome back to Pin Turning 101, and this is part 7. In this video, I'm going to be talking about finishing the cigar pin, and we're going to talk about assembling it. So join with us, and let's get started.
Okay, now that I've finished the sanding step, I like to give it a general inspection for cracks or scratches, and then I like to also take my air compressor and blow any dust off. Some people like to take, some denatured alcohol and rub the dust off and let it dry. Okay, there are several ways you can finish a pen. Some people like to use a CA finish, glue finish. I prefer to use a friction polish, and I use Pins Plus. I'll put a liberal dab of it on a paper towel, and with the lathe off, I'll take that and just rub it all around the pen blanks and make sure I got all of it covered real well. And then I'll switch the lathe back on. I'm probably running about 1800 to 2000 RPM here, but you just want to move that paper towel with the friction polish portion. Just keep rubbing that underneath, back and forth. Don't leave it in one spot. Just keep moving back and forth. You'll start to feel a little bit of heat build up, and that's a good thing because that's going to cause the polish to cure and harden, and that's what this particular type polish will do. So then let that dry just a little bit, uh, look at it a little bit, check it out, inspect it. Then I'll take another end of the paper towel, put on another liberal dab onto that. Basically repeat again, adding the friction polish to the pen blank, make sure it's fully covered. Go ahead and switch the lathe back on and do the same thing. Just keep rubbing the pen blanks with the paper towel, building up some friction, hardening the friction polish. And I'll do that probably about a third time, and let it dry a little bit between coats. And that's about it. That's all I do. Now, some people might want to also add like a Renaissance wax or some type of wax after that. You can do that. But I generally stop at this point. The friction polish does very well. I've had pens that I use daily, and this polish lasts for, I've had some that'll last over a year, so it does very well. And unlike a CA polish, it will eventually wear down, and you'll, with daily use, you'll kind of create a patina on the wood, uh, and the friction polish will um, eventually fade away. But it's just a pretty easy method. Um, Not a lot to it. The CA method is a good method too. It takes maybe just a little bit of extra time, and you got a few more things you got to consider and do with the CA finish. And I will also try to put a link to another video in the description field if you want to see how to do a CA finish. Maybe I'll make a separate video later on that shows how to do that. Okay, now we're going to move on to the pin assembly part, and so I want you to take your pin kit instructions back out and read those real carefully. Okay, to assemble the pen, I like to use a pen press that I purchased from my local woodworking store, or you can order them online. The other option is you can just use a bench vise if you have one, and I use mine, so I bounce back and forth between using it and the pen press. They both work very well. Okay, following my instructions, I'm going to first press in the center band, and notice how I like to make sure it's lined up real well, and also like to kind of twist it as I'm pressing the parts together just to make sure things are aligned well. Next, I'm going to press in the clip connector and the opposite end, and I want to be very careful here because uh, that end has some threads on it, and I don't want to mess those threads up, so be very careful pressing that in. Okay, now I'm going to slip on my clip. And at this point, you can rotate that clip around. If you had a mistake or something you wanted to hide or cover up, you can move that clip around. I didn't have any particular issues with this one, but you can do that if you want to. Then take the cap and try to thread it on, and then screw it down as tight as you can, just hand tight. And this turns out to be a very beautiful looking cap. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and press in the tip. Notice I make sure that I have it lined up really well. As I start pressing this together, I'm going to rotate a little bit, making sure that the compression fit is all lined up. Press it all the way till everything comes together. Okay, now I'm going to take the ink refill that came in the kit and slide the spring on the tip there. I'm going to take the ink refill and go ahead and insert it in that front barrel, and then slide the twist mechanism over the ink refill and screw that on down to the connector, and just screw it until it's finger tight. And then I will turn the mechanism and just test it out and make sure the tip is coming in and out correctly, and it is. And now I'm going to take the other part of the pen, and I'm going to look at it and kind of eyeball it, and I'm going to try to line up the grain pattern as best I can, and then just simply slide it over the twist mechanism by hand. Push that together, and now give it a test and make sure the mechanism and the ink refill are working correctly. And there's our finished pen.
Okay, guys, that's a wrap on part 7, Pen Turning 101, and appreciate you watching. I am going to be working on some additional videos to go along with this series, so please stay tuned and keep watching. Hey, take a minute and share my videos or channel with your friends and family. I'd encourage you to subscribe and to like them. Again, I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you in some future videos. Take care.